But but if we look at her team members, how did she meet them? If we look at just these few, one of them went to PT school with you, did she say?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a person she knew. Here is someone who met her, and what's Amanda doing? She's out and about telling her story, and she has a booth somewhere. So it's she was at
Yeah,
Duhon.
just to help, like a wellness fair. It was a street fair. Yeah, when I met Durbin. Mm-hmm.
And so she met Durbin there. And where did you meet the others? Let's just get an array of how people come into contact with others, because that's something that I think we all say, okay, well, how do they get that team together? Where do they pull that team together?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Cheryl. So Christy and Steph, who spoke, are part of Allison Fitzpatrick's team, and they met her through Instagram and creating curiosity posts. Allison is a very authentic poster, just shares her love of health and her recipes. And so they were attracted to that. And Allison asked good questions, right? Which is what we like to do, is asking, if you're talking with someone, she asked some questions of Christy and Steph that got them thinking that this might be a good fit for them. So that's how they met. Another teammate of mine is on the line, Amy Westcott. We went to high school together, and Amy literally has watched me the last 8 years posting on Facebook. And about 2 months ago, she said, whatever you're doing, I want it. Sign my whole family up. She has 4 kids. So, it was just the right timing for her to take a look at what we were offering. And I always like to tell my team, what we get to share our story all the time. And sometimes that it's in person, and sometimes that's online on Facebook, and sometimes that's at an event. And not everyone's going to hear the story when they need to hear it, or when they're going to hear it when they need to hear it. But it's all about timing. And so a lot of this is timing. And Amy, when she heard my story on Facebook, it was her timing. So yeah, I think a lot of it is about your posturing and your expectation of when you're going to find people and how you're going to find them, to have the energy that you put out, that you are ready to engage with people. I'm someone that met my husband on an airplane. I sat down next to him and we started chatting, and we'll be married 20 years next year. So you've got to be open and ready to talk to people, right? We're professional networkers. So yeah, Cheryl, that's a long answer to your question, but
no, I think it's wonderful. And what I love about this call is that we can have this kind of interaction, even those of you who have checked in, listening in, input from you too. We're happy for that as well. But what you're hearing is that what Amanda has been doing, even though she started off in a country where we couldn't even do business, is that she's reached out to friends, but she's also making friends on an ongoing basis. So if we look at what is our job description, we're just out making friends, okay? I've always felt like this is my ticket to talk to the world. I like to talk to people, and I like to know their story, whatever it is. And so it's your ticket to talk to the world. Now, other things, if we listen tonight, have you noticed, and even if you look at who was from Dallas, was it Jen? Who was one of them that was from Dallas?
Steph.
Okay. Steph was attracted to the food, wasn't she? Okay. Posts of the food. And it fit something that, was about food. And then the one, who else? It must have been, was it Jen who was the one that, which one was in the kitchen?
Oh, Christy.
Okay, Christy was in the kitchen, and Jen's, okay, so they both are doing things that are around health and food and good eating. So this just was a match. So you don't know, so many people in our business today were drawn because it fit with what they already were doing. But let's get back to just the thought of people are more interested in food. Juice Plus has been with us now almost 30 years, and I have had the good fortune of swallowing Juice Plus every day for almost 30 years. But if I look back at my own health, which was, I was never terminal, I was never well. I lived in that gray twilight of the in-between, as far as health was concerned. And like Amanda said, I feel like I was able to really, you might say, silence those switches of hereditary problems that worried me all the time. I really feel like Juice Plus has protected me there. But if we look at life before Juice Plus over 30 years ago, I didn't see people that interested in food. They were not in good, healthy food. It was like, if it tastes good, eat it. That was pretty much what people were about. And today we look at this as time has evolved. People are very interested in food and in relation to their health more than food in just relation to taste. So we again, do great support there, and that's wonderful. The other thing I heard tonight in the stories, and you may have heard, is that if we're looking at developing this from a business standpoint, what did you hear? You heard more people are able to make other choices. They're able to expand their choices. So that freedom of choice becomes huge as you're able to expand the security of income. And of course, the fact that just with inflation, we are, in need of more just for the basics than we were just a few months ago. So anyway, moving on tonight, Amanda and I were talking about, just mindset. I mean, we look at ourselves coming out of probably the most unusual past 2.5 years that any of us have ever experienced in our lives. We didn't expect it. It obviously has been more traumatic than we even dreamed it would be, just from the standpoint of the fear factor that's going around so many things, and that continues. So Amanda, maybe let's talk just a little bit about mindset and where people are, and you wanted to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, Cheryl and I were chatting before, and we both have this sense that people are hesitant, to kind of re-enter, and we're not really, no one can really put their finger on it, but just really sensing some stress around getting moving again. And so, I think just it's a good chance to just do a check-in with yourself and see where your comfort level is with moving about, and also, I think it's a good chance to check in with your own mindset around where you are with your business and where you want to go moving forward this summer. The summertime can be a time of distraction for sure, or just having fun, right? But really, what mindset do you want to go into this summer with? What do I want to say? What do you want to put off, right? As you're making friends and meeting people, doing some fun things this summer, what's the intention that you have behind your own mindset? And so, I think for me, I really want to be really focused on having quality conversations with people and asking good questions. I want to find out more about where people are with their health and where people are with their finances, where they are, what's stressing them out right now. And again, being able to insert the Juice Plus business and products into some of those concerns. So my mindset is going to be that, everyone deserves to take a look at the Juice Plus business and products, right? That I am a go-giver, that I am a professional connector, right? I have something to offer. People are looking for this, right? So if you have this sort of mindset that there's lots of people, business is booming, lots of people are open and looking for this, how great of a summer are we going to have versus this is no one needs this, or it's too expensive, or everyone is cutting back. Those things may be true on some level, but there's a whole other set of beliefs that you can have. And a belief is just a certainty that you've attached to an idea that you have, right? Belief is not necessarily true. And so it's switching on mindsets that are going to serve you. So I don't know if anyone else has any mindsets that they want to share going forward into the summer, but certainly I'm going to be open for business. I'm going to have the mindset that this is something that I want to, that I'm going to offer everyone that I meet, that I'm going to meet interesting and attractive people that are attracted to another stream of income like Durbin, right? I don't know where they're going to show up, but they show up for me all the time. Right. So that's the kind of mindset that I'm going to personally be be doubling down on this summer. And, you know, I'm one that loves to write things down. And so writing down some of these mindset beliefs for myself and really looking at them, because you get just to decide, you know, how you create your day, right? It's the beliefs that you set for yourself in the beginning of the day that really helps your day unfold. And so what if you were to create 10 new beliefs for the summer and really read those to yourself every morning? If, you know, a lot of this business is building up ourselves, that we go build other people who then build our business, right? So we build ourselves, then to go build other people who then we all go build business. And so it does start with us, and it starts with our mindset. So Cheryl, that's kind of what I'm thinking for the summer.
And I love this. I love it so much because it's so true. What she's saying is so true. And, you know, we've said over the years, you know, every now and then you need to do a checkup from the neck up, you know, as far as your thinking and your mindset, because what you believe and really truly believe is what's going to evolve, what's going to happen. And so if you feel like everybody can hardly wait to hear about this, everybody is going to love it, everybody's going to do well on it, everybody you speak to is going to have some interest. Like Amanda said, those are the people who will show up. I have always felt like the Juice Plus product brought so much more value to the person than the cost. And so I never have anybody who, and I'll only say this in looking back on it, I don't have anybody who ever questions the cost, because my feeling is so strong inside me, my belief is so strong that the value of what we have to offer is so much greater than what the person would have to spend for it. So it's very important to look at that mindset and how you think about what you're doing and how you think about how you're sharing it. Our business too is something, if we look at the population today, you know, we do well in good times because people have discretionary income. We do even better in times of recession or financial concern because we can be of such great service to people in regard to their need to have that additional income. So, you know, if you think about, you know, again, all the people that you know, all you're going to come across in your just daily conversation, all the people you've heard from that this matches what they do, people who are, you know, in every walk of life, the young moms that want to stay at home with their children. Who did I hear tonight that, you know, she wanted to be there, she wanted to be at home, she wanted to have the privilege of being the one who raised her own child. We all have had feelings like that from time to time in regard to what we do and what we're having to do and the sacrifices that we have to make sure that we create that functional living that everybody needs. So if we look at, you know, where we are as a population, what we have to offer, we have never, ever been in a time that is more lucrative as far as the need for what we have to offer to people who are out there in our population. And it is going to be a matter of what, you know, your activity is going to look like as far as just telling that story. So, you know, and I'd like to see if Josh if he'll come in here just a minute with us. Josh kind of.
Cheryl, can I just, sorry. I was just going to give everyone one quick assignment while we're getting Josh on. If everyone could write one new belief in the chat that you want to have this summer, what's one new belief that you're going to, you know, add in? It could be, this is going to be my best summer ever in the business, right? I'm a go giver. I'm always meeting new interesting people. So I'd love to just, because we all can borrow from each other. And so write something in the chat that you are just trying on. It doesn't have to be like the one, it doesn't have to be perfect, but maybe write a new belief that you would like to try on for the summer. Success, and I'm just gonna, you know, I think this is always just good to see what other people are using as their mantras or their beliefs. I'm contagious. I'm always in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. Yeah, you are. That's great, right? What if you know, that's so true. My health is important. Going to talk to more faces. Success comes to me easily all the time. Great.
All
So
of those things, yeah. What's so important about that is, first of all, if you're saying that, and you heard Amanda say earlier, she writes it down. If you're saying it to yourself often, if you write it down, especially if you can see it frequently, your subconscious registers that as the truth, and then it produces it. So, you know, when she said, I think you said something earlier about a belief is, you know, a certainty of something in your mind. Is that how you said it? A belief is,
yeah, a belief or thoughts you have attached certainty to.
right.
So
And it doesn't matter if they're true or not.
right.
So if you decide that, you know, everybody out there is never going to speak to you and they're never going to buy anything, that'll happen. And if you decide the opposite, and this is one thing I've watched in the 35 years I've been here, okay, is that there's many times there's a defining moment for someone where they decide, okay, this is it. You know, I'm going to I'm going to win. It's my turn to win, whatever it is, whatever that moment is, where they say, it's either my turn or it's out there or I'm going to capture it. It's when you come to that point where that, you know, that feeling is there, it's unshakable, it's the belief that you have. And I'd like to tell you a quick little story. This has been many years ago. My very first national marketing director, and he's passed on as time's gone on, but what was fascinating about him is that he believed that December was his month. Everybody, you know, kind of in December, they get caught up in the holidays and the, you know, the Christmas, and it's right after Thanksgiving. And December many times can be the month where there's not quite as much activity going on. So he had this really strong belief that everybody was not going to be doing business and it would all belong to him. And so he was like crazy in December. He had huge months. It would be his biggest month of the year. And the only difference between he and everybody else was that he believed that December would be the biggest month for him because everybody else was on vacation and the whole world would belong to him. So, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to that other than his belief came to reality because it was so strong and it propelled him to talk to more and more people. So, you know, it is something that you really want to, as I said, that check up from the neck up. And if you catch a negative thought, just stop it. You know, you can be in control of that. That's the beautiful thing.
And Cheryl, I'm on here if you need me.
Okay. So Josh kind of made a decision again that we were gonna, he grew to qualifying national marketing director. And so just tell them what the last couple of weeks have looked like, because all of a sudden we're super busy again. And I don't think a lot changed except Josh decided, okay, it's time.
Nothing changed. I mean, the stuff did change in my life, but I don't think anything really changed out in the world. It was, you know, set of life circumstances for me changed. 70% of my income went away kind of overnight about 6 months ago, and had to scale the Juice Plus business up. So the past probably 2 or 3 weeks, you know, for me, I've just really focused on engaging with people while I'm out. As you guys saw, I got a new puppy, so that certainly helps. You know, everybody wants to come up and pet the dog, talk to the dog, and then, you know, once I lure them in with the dog, I begin to ask questions like, you know, what's your name? You know, where are you from? You got any kids? What do you do for work? How's the past couple of years been? How's your health? And Cheryl, inevitably what happens is you will be presented with an opportunity. And that's kind of what I'm listening for. I'm listening for the opportunity where I can interject a solution to a problem that maybe they've just voiced that they have. Or maybe they'll ask me, hey, what do you do? So happy that you asked. You know, I find if it's kind of like Amanda said, it's like, you know, as soon as your mindset shifts to people are out there, all I got to do is be aware that they're out there, and you begin to ask the right questions, those conversations start to take place. And I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing that's different now than maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, is that it's almost like people are chomping at the bit. They're ready. They want something. They're looking for something, whether it's hope or, financial or an edge in their health. They are out there searching for it in a way that I didn't really pick up on prior to all of 2020 unfolding. It's a very magical time, whether I'm at the grocery store, the gas station, the canyon, doesn't seem to matter. It just seems like as soon as I engage in that conversation and start asking a few questions, they're there. It's right there. All I got to do is not fumble the football, right? If I could just pick up that ball and run with it, it immediately turns into a three-way call with you. I mean, the woman that we just got off the phone the other day with a woman that I met at the canyon. I met her at the canyon. She had an Akita. She saw my Akita. We talked for 10 minutes. That turned into a three-way call with you. You were on the phone with her for about 30 minutes. She flipped it back to me. I was on the phone with her for an hour. She orders 2 quads. She orders, 2 complete. She signs up as a distributor. She wants to take it to her doctor. She's got it to her son. She got promoted to Partner Plus in an afternoon. So, those people are out there for all of us if we'll just, like Amanda said, put up the radar, ask some questions, engage. They're there for us. We just got to go out and get them.
And that's why I really wanted you all to hear that, is they're there for us. It's just a matter of going out and getting them. And as Amanda and I started, tonight in this segment, as far as the training segment, and we said we were talking about, if we look at the past 2 years and everybody being at home and kind of having that reentry anxiety to, they're out and about, but there's still, that feeling of just, there's been a lot of fear, around so many things. So I think that engaging with people, we have to have the courage to ask, how are you? To, be the one to start the conversation. And the other thing is, if we look at all of us as business people, before the pandemic, we had a rhythm of habits, okay? And our habits were such that we did those things. We engaged with people, we had events, we had small events, we had one-on-one conversations, we had conversations over the phone, we had conversations over social media, which we were still able to do during the pandemic, but we were out having conversations and events, and the pattern or the rhythm of that habit was broken with this. And humans are creatures of habit, okay? So you might have to give yourself a little push, to get back into the habit of what Josh has realized here in the last few months, because he was pushed hard to get back into a habit out of necessity. And so the business is there, the people are there, they're waiting, they're anxious, as he said, they're kind of chomping at the bit to not only have the conversations, but what are the pain points people are feeling now? There are many things. Just like I said, we're hearing people being much more involved in healthy food. We're hearing people, really feel the pain of inflation. There's a lot of people who just want conversation. They want somebody to talk to, so if there is that, friendship, and all it is making friends, the way you ever made friends your whole life. What do you do? What are you about? Tell me about you. I'll tell you about me, or they'll ask about you if you ask about them. So it's that simplicity of that, and then getting in the habit of that consistency. So simplicity and consistency is making sure that every day, you're doing that. Amanda, anything else you want to share here as we close?
No, I think you were at the bottom of the half hour. I just, I think the one thing that I would love to leave you guys with is to pick one new belief, right? We don't want to be overwhelmed. Pick one new belief for your summer belief. Put it in your phone, write it in your calendar, if you're artistic, put it in the front of, however you like to remind yourself of things, a sticky note, and try on this new belief, right? It's going to feel weird at first. It's going to feel like a sweater that doesn't fit, right? Because it's a new belief, but you have to keep consistently saying it to yourself. You have to consistently find proof that belief is true, right? So your reticular activating system is this amazing system in the brain, which makes you see things that you didn't see before, right? We've all seen the yellow bugs when we're looking for them, right? The yellow VW bugs. So this system, let's use it for ourselves this summer. Create the new belief, start it in your brain, start looking for the truth that it's true. And I think it starts with us, and then it's just going to trickle out from there. So that's the one thing I'll leave you with, is let's all have that one belief from tonight.
Well, that's a beautiful thing to leave everybody with, and a great assignment. So we'll say goodnight to everyone and really encourage you. You know, this conference is coming up in Atlanta. It's going to be the family reunion for the Juice Plus family. And so really, I would encourage you, you know, really create the ability to get to the conference in Atlanta, start working toward that now. We're 4 months out, a little over 4 months out. And let's have a great reunion there too, and bring a lot of folks with you, because that's one thing. What did a number of you said, that first conference, when you heard the stories tonight, that first conference, and people looked around, and Amanda was one of them. You know, you mean I can make money doing this? And then when you meet the people and the stories are all there, it just creates, again, a reinforcement for belief and validation of what we are. And I truly believe this mission is one that's much more powerful than just earning a living, creating income, or, you know, the product being, you know, it's wonderful. The product is amazing. It's what it's all about. But it's about more than products or income. It's really about, you know, community and lifting people up and being the people that help in this situation, which is very encompassing, because it's health, it's finances, it's stress, it's, you know, all of those things that we can bring and make a difference for. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you, your team, and loved it. Enjoyed seeing everybody. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And I would encourage you to bring people to this call. You know, Monday night, of course, too, we always have our Monday night for the whole team. But you know, the stories are very powerful. So bring your new person to hear those stories. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda and team, and everybody else. Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
night. Thank
Awesome,
you.
Amanda and
Thank you.
team.
Awesome.
Take care.
Great.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.